Camenares. Welcome to my art studio. Today I'm going to show you how to do this beautiful pastel painting. It's a beautiful landscape scene with the sky and land and a little bit of water, and it's not difficult to do. I'm going to take you through it step by step. So let's get going. Righty, well, we need some supplies to get going, so here we go. We have some pastel paper that I'm going to be using. This brand here, Canson, is one that I use a lot. So this is what I'm recommending to you. And a very easy beginner's set of soft pastels, because that's what we're using for this. I'm going to be using this Faber-Castell. And the set has these colors in it. It's a nice selection of colors to use. You can use pastel pencil, you can use oil pastels, but we're going to be using these soft pastels. There's also hard pastels, but we're going to stick with this, make it nice and easy for you. Okay, I've chosen a gray tone piece of paper here, pastel paper, and the first thing that I'm going to do is lay out my horizon line with a dark colored pastel chalk. I'm going to come up about 1/3 of the paper, and I'm going to try and be as straight as I can be and just put in a horizon line just like that. So now I know here is my sky, the horizon line will be my land, and the bottom part will be my water. And I'm going to start in with doing some different color blues all throughout the sky, and I'm going to gradually come down to a lighter color blue as well. And I'm going to also use the flat part of my pastel chalk. So I'm just going to come down here with the darker blue, and by the horizon line I've got some lighter color blue coming in here. And I'm also going to add in a little bit of lavender in there. And I'm going to add in some different color blues too, just to make it interesting. Some little darker ones in here, and maybe even a little darker purple in there as well. Something to give it a little bit of interest. And once I've gotten a few different colors down, then I'm going to take my finger very, very lightly, and I'm going to blend it all in. And I'm going to avoid having it be like just a straight line. I'm just going to make a nice smooth blend. So why don't I do that, and then I'll get back and show you the next step. Okay, as you can see, I've got some lavenders in here, some darker blues, and some lighter blues. I have the darker blues more on the top, and they gently fade down to a lighter blue. And the same thing with the lavenders. It's a little lighter down here than it is on the top. And I've got it blended in pretty well. So now we're going to work on putting in the trees on that horizon line. Dark green, and I'm just going to, with the flat part again of the pastel, I'm just going to work up just little strokes, up and down kind of strokes, to indicate that maybe there's some trees and bushes here. And then I'm just going to bring that across to show that maybe there's some land. And I'm going to do that right on the horizon line. It could be a little bit thicker, it could be any kind of consistency that you like as far as the trees and the shrubs. They can be going all across, or they could just be in one area, whatever you like to do for your painting. And then I'm going to blend that in. So why don't I do that, and I'll get back. Now a darker brown color, and I'm just going to reinforce like the land, maybe put in some shadows here on the trees, and bring that all the way across. And you can make that land as thick as you like it, as wide as you like it. Put some shadows in there, like I said. And then I'm also going to go over that green with a lighter color green just to give some highlights of where maybe the sun is shining on things, and it really starts to take shape and give it dimension when you do that. And I'm going to put some of the lighter green here in the foreground as well. See? Just like that. It's nothing very definite. This is just the indication of it. You're not putting any kind of details in here. I'm going to go over it with a couple of different kinds of greens. Like I said, just to give it some interest. Put more green on the land here as well. And then I'll gently blend it in, and then we'll get on to the next step. I'm happy with the way the land looks. Now I'm just going to put in what's going to be the reflection of the water. So I'm going to take some of my lighter green color and also my darker green color, and I'm going to add like a little bit more deliberate land in here, and then I'm just going to bring it down a little to show like maybe there would be a reflection in the water to that. Let's say that would be there, maybe a little bit here. Bring that in for reflection by just putting your chalk the flat long ways and just moving downward with it. And the same thing with the green, the greenery. I'm going to take those trees that are in here, and I'm going to make sure I have a little reflection of those trees in the water, just like that. Put some land in there too, maybe a little bit of grass, and just bring it down into the water. It doesn't really matter how perfectly you do it, just as long as it coincides with what's above. In other words, there's green here, so I'm going to put the green reflection right below it, not over to the side, just like that. And same thing here. And then we'll move on to the next step. Before we move on to the water, let's just do a little bit on the clouds. I've got a nice light color. You can use like light yellow, you can use peach, you can use white, but I'm using like a light peach, and I'm going to put in the indication of some clouds. So I'm going to go here in a circular motion and using the flat part of the chalk, and I'm just going to gently put in some clouds over here, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And if you'll notice, it's almost like a V shape or a slightly V shape that I'm working on here, because I want to draw your eye into the center. So I'm going to work on that a little bit more just to make these clouds a little fluffier looking, and just keeping them working into the paper in a circular motion. And I'm just doing this right now with the light peach. Actually, that doesn't look too bad, but we'll just work on it a little bit more, and then we'll move on to the next step. We're ready to put in the water, so I'm going to take a light blue color, and I'm just going to come here in the center, and I'm just going to make a few little indications here of water with this light blue. I may come out like with a few horizontal lines, and then I'm going to take a darker blue color, and on the sides I'm going to just put in a little bit stronger. It's like a greenish blue here, like a teal blue, but I like to mix up different colors in here anyway. Makes it very interesting then. And I'm just going to put in a few different lines of these other color blues. I've got another color in here, just making it very sporadic. And I'm going to also blend that in now as well. And when I'm done with that, we're going to put some nice accent detailed marks in. Okay, so we're just going to, I may do another layer of this, of the different blues, and make sure that I'm keeping with my reflection in here, that I don't lose that as well. So I'm going to work a little bit more on that, and then we're going to do some nice details. Added just a little bit more, and I also wanted to show you how you can leave the paper having some strokes that are visible. And with water, I like to always go in a horizontal direction. Okay, so we're going to say that that water is done for now. We're going to put in some accent details, and I'm going to just take my orange or peach or dark peach or even a pink color, and I'm going to just put a small little accent point in here. And I may just even have a little reflection of that to go elsewhere on the horizon. And I may even have it be reflected in the sky. So I'm going to work on that, and I'll get back and show you the next step. So what I'm doing here, I have a light peach color right here, this little tiny one, and I'm just to play on that little bit of orange that I put down here, I'm just adding just a few little dashes of color in the sky to make this reflect up to the sky, and here and here. And the final part is just taking some of our white colored chalk and just accenting the clouds by just doing little half circles with the tip of the chalk, and just to show that the light is shimmering from the clouds. And I just do that randomly. I don't like carry it throughout. I may even put a little sparkle in the water there. And that basically is it. So I think we have a done painting. I want to thank you for joining me, and I hope you all stay healthy and safe, and come back and visit me again for my next tutorial. Thank you very much. Have a great day, everyone.